All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Abhijit Shirsat. I'm professor in Recreation, Park, and Tourism Administration. I'm happy to welcome you all on behalf of Carlson Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship and the College of Health and Human Services. I want to start this session by a quote from Walt Disney. All your dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. We here at Sac State have a lot of resources and tools available for you. And on that end, I want to invite Cameron to speak more about Carlson Center, who is our executive director of Carlson Center.
Well, thank you so much for the warm welcome, Abhijit. It's such a pleasure to work with you, and then welcome everyone to the Global Entrepreneurship Week 2020, powered by Western Health Advantage. We're so honored to have partnered with the College of Health and Human Services on this conversation with Shadi, Khattab, an entrepreneur, #made at Sac State. But we had the pleasure of just connecting before, and his energy is something that you definitely will grab a hold of, and just such a powerful story. So we're really excited to have him share his story and his passion for entrepreneurship and really service to a community. But for those of you that don't know, my name's Cameron Law, and I'm the interim executive director of the Carlson Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. I'm also serving as this region's organizer for the Global Entrepreneurship Week. The Carlson Center serves as this regional hub and platform for providing approachable and accessible entrepreneurial education, a community, and the support to enable you as a student or a startup founder of all backgrounds to really explore and launch your business. Our mission is to make innovation and entrepreneurship pervasive, and we have this steadfast vision to make the greater Sacramento region this premier hub for innovation and entrepreneurship. I know a number of you are students or an alumni of Sacramento State. You don't have to be, though, in order to gauge in our resources. In line with our Anchor University initiative at Sacramento State, we really want to anchor our work in the community and to be able to support in mobilizing new business creations and really scaling current business operations. So we are here to support you along that entrepreneurial journey. So no matter where you are, whether you're at the idea stage or ready to launch your business, we've bucketed our programs into discover, build, and launch, and we want to be here to support you. And so Global Entrepreneurship Week falls under our Discover programs, which are really about creating a variety of on-ramps into that entrepreneurial journey, and then hopefully inspiring you to take those next steps and seeing the Carlson Center, as well as the resources on the Sacramento State campus, as a core partner to starting your business. For those of you that don't know, Global Entrepreneurship Week is indeed global. So we're actually joining over 180 countries this week in celebrating the role innovation and entrepreneurship plays. And we're excited to have partnered with the College of Health and Human Services to bring this wonderful conversation with Shadi Khattab. So I'm going to turn it back over to Abhijit, who's one of our Carlson Center Advisory Board members. I've really enjoyed getting to know him, and his just strategic thinking and support of the Carlson Center has something I've been deeply valued. So I'll turn it back to you, Abhi, and appreciate the partnership and look forward to hear from you, Shadi.
Thank you, Cameron, for this lovely introduction. So since we are talking about dreams, our guest speaker today is a 25-year-old immigrant from Syria who decided to pursue his dreams in making major coffee franchisee in the greater Sacramento region. His motivation started from a small assignment from his professor here at Sac State. He is also the COO of Precision Cosmetic Surgery Center, which is one of the top cosmetic centers in Sacramento. And if this makes my undergrad students happy, he has 84,000 Instagram followers. With that being said, let's hear the story from our successful entrepreneur himself. Please join me in welcoming our very own Shadi Khattab.
Thank you so much, brother. First off, I'd like to thank you guys for your time and for the opportunity. And I'm very excited to share my journey and my story with you all. I am an immigrant from Syria. I migrated to the United States when I was 5 years old with my family. And my family were actually very poor in Syria. My family are farmers back home. And as you know, the situation in Syria now, over 5 million Syrian refugees, a lot of poverty. So to have an opportunity to live in the United States and to pursue, my dreams is something that I don't take for granted and something that drives me every single day. Kind of getting into Onic Coffee and how all of that started. It was a vision that I had about 4 years ago. I fell in love with the business model of Dutch Brothers Coffee. So the human to human interaction element, right? Where you go up to the drive-through and people greet you and they come up to you and welcome you, you know, and kind of treat you like a friend or a family member. And in a world where we are so desensitized with tablets and phones and monitors, it felt like a much more authentic experience to me and kept me coming back. And as a Middle Eastern man, part of our culture, we're very big on coffee and tea. It's a way that we bond. You know, typically when we're sitting with our family members, we have tea, we have coffee, and we're very big on the quality of the tea and coffee. And so, kind of looking at Dutch Brothers, I felt that they really had the market monopolized in the greater Sacramento area. They don't really have a direct competitor, and I felt like they were lacking in a few different key areas. So the idea to start my own coffee business and create my own franchise kind of took life. And I remember in my entrepreneurship 189 class, I believe I did my project on it coffee. And I remember the professor was like, who would like to kind of lead a project to talk about a business that they want to build? And, you know, I came up with the idea for On It at the time. And I started brainstorming how would I go into the coffee industry and create something different, create something unique. And what I wanted to do was bring gourmet quality coffee to a drive-through. So I'm sure many of you have been to like Temple Coffee or Old Soul or Chocolate Fish. Imagine if you can have that at a drive-through, right? I also wanted to bring protein shake options, vegan-based options to a drive-through. I don't know too many drive-throughs that offer protein shakes or vegan-based options, right? So I felt that Dutch Brothers and Starbucks and other major coffee franchises and coffee companies were kind of lacking in that area. So I spent about 2 years looking for a prime location. And the way it all started was I hired a consulting firm out of the East Coast. They had a couple hundred locations. And I needed to find an expert in the industry because I was not an expert in the coffee industry, right? And I told them my vision. The CEO flew down to Sacramento and met with me, and we kind of went over what I wanted to do. And she started to talk to me about the coffee industry. Where do you source the milks and the beans and, you know, the syrups and sauces and whatnot? And also in terms of location, what's the demographic you're looking for? How much does the average consumer spend on a cup of coffee? What's the nearest highway exit entrance? Where's the nearest campus, college, or high school? A lot of things that I did not know prior, right? And I had about 20 failed negotiations throughout the greater Sacramento area. So I went to Lodi, Stockton, Granite Bay, Folsom, Elk Grove, really every city you could think of in the greater Sacramento area. And essentially what would happen is Dutch Brothers Coffee or Starbucks or McDonald's would outbid me, right? And because I, you know, did not have a big name at the time, nobody knew what On It Coffee was. If it was a deal where it was a lease, typically speaking, they would almost always win those deals, you know, because if someone's leasing their lot to you, they want to know that that business is going to thrive so they make their money, you know. So I would lose those. What ended up happening was the day before I went on my pilgrimage as a Muslim to Saudi Arabia. So a lot of greats have gone, like Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X. I got a call from my real estate agent. He was like, Shadi, I have good news for you, brother. The lot that you bid on, half an acre lot off of Howe and Marconi, 3 miles away from Sac State, you have acquired that lot. They accepted your offer. And so I was able to acquire that lot and start the process to attain a building permit for a dual lane drive-through, right? Now, in the meantime, while all of that was going on, I graduated from Sac State in 2018, took on the position of Chief Operating Officer at Precision MD Cosmetic Surgery Center, which is a family-owned business. My father is a cosmetic surgeon at Precision MD. And I started to kind of work on generating leads, the business aspect of things, marketing, all of those things, right? Also, I came up with the idea of launching the first mobile gourmet coffee truck in Sacramento. And the idea for that was, until my drive-through opens up, what if I create a mobile coffee truck that I sent out to large scale venues, right? Venues of 10,000 plus people, marathons, charity events, high schools, colleges, and really get Onnit's name out there. So when the drive-thru opens up, people are familiar with Onnit Coffee because we've sent the truck throughout the greater Sacramento area. The build for the truck finished in March, right when COVID-19 took off in Sacramento. So imagine you launch a brand new business, right? You invest all this money into the state-of-the-art truck, custom built kitchen, custom built truck. It took us about 8 months to build it. COVID hits. At the time, we had just gotten featured on Good Day Sacramento. The CFO at Sac State had reached out to me, and he saw us on Good Day Sacramento and heard about my story, and he had connected me to University Enterprises to potentially sign a contract to bring the truck on campus, which was something that was going to be very big for me and the students and staff, because I felt it was going to motivate the students to see a fellow alumnus from the campus, right? Bring the truck on campus, hire fellow students, and show them that I turned this vision into a reality, right? I was able to manifest it. And I was very excited for that. And I had about 30 events lined up with iHeartRadio and Intercom Sacramento, right? There were going to be major concerts, major venues, and everything was going great. COVID hit, all events were canceled and shut down. Unfortunately, the campus was shut down. So now I had to learn and adapt. Where am I going to send a mobile truck when there are no events to go to, right? So the idea hit me of, what if I were to park the truck at my cosmetic surgery center parking lot in Elk Grove? We're located at Bighorn and Laguna, a prime area, and turn it into a location, something that really had never been done before. And we listed our services on all 4 delivery platforms: DoorDash, Grubhub, Postmates, Uber Eats. We created a beautiful outdoor seating area, right, with turf and LED lights. And we started to put a lot of money into social media marketing, right? So I run a lot of ads on Instagram, predominantly Instagram, Facebook. I partnered up with Yelp Sacramento and did a Yelp Elite Week with them, where we brought in about 100 Yelp Elite members to try out Onnit Coffee. And within about 3 months of parking consistently at precision and not really moving the truck, we went relatively viral in the greater Sacramento area. So about 700,000 impressions on Instagram. We're now at 200 reviews on Yelp within 6 months, 3,000 customers a week. I went from 4 employees on the truck to 16 in 6 months. We've been on Good Day Sacramento 4 times, Sacramento Business Journal, State Hornet News, and we've done a couple key events. Now, what I want to get into with Onnit Coffee, for me, it's much more than just the money in building a franchise. For me, the mission of Onnit is to impact lives. And our motto is impacting lives one cup at a time. As a local minority-owned company, I'm very big on supporting local. I'm very big on supporting the city of Sacramento and giving back to the city, right? And so part of the mission for Onnit is to partner up with a different local nonprofit every 2 to 3 months to give back. In March, we had partnered up with the Sacramento Food Bank, where we did a campaign. $1 from every single drink went to them, and we raised about $1,000. Another campaign we did, we partnered up with Sacramento Street Medicine Group. We went out and handed out free cold brew to the unsheltered folks in Sacramento. And for November, I wanted to launch a very impactful campaign. It's the fight against human sex trafficking in Sacramento. We partnered up with local nonprofit My Sister's House. They've been around for about 20 years, and they help victims of human sex trafficking. This is a major issue that I feel we should shed more light upon. And 25 cents from every drink is going to My Sister's House for the month of November. And we're raising awareness about the situation because it's a major issue in Sacramento that people really don't talk about. I don't really know too many other coffee shops that have done a campaign for, the fight against human sex trafficking. And I want to target causes like mental health, suicide prevention, refugees. My people are refugees. I'm partnering up with World Relief Sacramento in January, where we're going to have 3 speakers, refugees, talk about their journey, their story, and how they made it to Sacramento and how kind of they're surviving here and they need help. For Onic Coffee, I want to build a legacy as a Syrian immigrant, right, that came to this country, impacted lives, and built a successful coffee franchise that gives back to the community. And right now, we're looking at having our first drive-through location opening this summer, God willing. We have our coffee truck, which is doing, phenomenal right now through the pandemic. And we have our dine-in on it coffee location in Elk Grove opening within the next 6 months. From there, the goal is to continue to build drive-through locations, and we're looking actually at a couple of properties in Elk Grove to build a dual-lane drive-through with a walk-up window, outdoor seating with fire pits, an open mic area for community leaders, for students to come, share their stories, maybe like perform, And we've done a couple of cool events actually at On It Coffee that I want to talk to you about real quick. We did an event for the kids where we had a couple guys dressed up as Spider-Man. They came out and took pictures with the kids. Very successful event. We did a gaming tournament where the winner won a PlayStation 5. It was a Super Smash Brothers gaming tournament on the Nintendo Switch. We had about 80 competitors that came down, and that was a fun event. We did a small little event on Halloween for the kids where we did like a trunk or treat. And we've been trying to just spread joy and positivity during this tough time with, COVID-19. My main thing is overcoming and learning to adapt through struggles, and I'm very big on embracing failure because it is a part of the journey to success, right? I saw the struggles that my father went through coming as an immigrant to this country, working 3 jobs. My father came to the United States with about $1,000 to his name, and he worked very hard to open up opportunities for myself and my family to be able to, live a good life. And for me, failing and giving up is not an option. When your family sacrificed so much to give you an opportunity to live a better life, you have to work hard and you have to, go after your dreams. And for me, it's much more than myself. It's much more than the money. I want to open up franchising opportunities for my team. I know Dutch Brothers used to do that, and now they no longer open up franchising opportunities that you can only regionally operate. But for myself, I want to kind of follow Chick-fil-A's business model of, when you have somebody that works their way up to a management position, right? I want to reward them with, you can own your own On It Coffee franchise, and maybe we can even finance the location for you and you can pay us back over time, right? That is how I believe that the people within your company are going to work harder because they see a long-term vision with the company. As On It grows, they will grow with it. Another thing we're working on is our energy drink line called Honergy. It is a plant-based, vegan-based energy drink line that will be the lifestyle brand of On It Coffee. We've been in development for about 6 months. And we're going to have a lot of unique flavors. Cotton candy is going to be probably a very popular one. And we're looking to launch that relatively soon. My goal is to get that into, Rayleigh's, Costco eventually, partner up with different athletes. I have connections with some of the Kings players. I've worked with Uriah Faber's team from the UFC here, Team Alpha Male. They've come in, some of them to Precision MD. We do a lot of recovery stuff over there to treat inflammation, joint pain, injuries, things of that nature. And my goal with the Honergy drink line is to partner up with, various athletes, influencers, and really brand that into a whole separate company. So that's something we're very excited for. One of the things the ideas that I had for like the drive-through, for example, that I'll just share with you now, what we're looking to do is the cups, right? The cups themselves. If you're serving, 20, 30, 40,000 customers a month, right, at that location, off of Howe and Marconi. Well, imagine if you put a campaign on that cup, right? Imagine if you partner up with the Sacramento Kings and, you put some of the players on the cup, and you donate a percentage of the proceeds to the Kings nonprofit. And now the Kings are supporting local, supporting a local company that's making an impact in Sacramento. Or if I partnered up with Sacramento State University, right? I got my business degree from Sac State, and I commemorated Sac State actually live on Good Day Sacramento. I named a drink called the Hornet after them. It's our matcha lemonade. But imagine if, I agreed with Sac State on some kind of a campaign for a nonprofit that, they want to work with, or whatever the case is. Let's say it was mental health for that month. Well, now how many eyes are going to see that cup, that design on the cup for that month? And all those people are going to drop it on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever. More organic marketing, right? So that's another strategy that I have in the works. Once I open up the drive-through location, I'm also looking to drop boba at Onic Coffee relatively soon, within the next week or two. And for definitely at the drive-through as well. I don't really know too many drive-throughs that offer boba. What drive-through can you go to that offers boba or protein shakes or vegan-based options, So we're trying to really change the game. We're trying to really innovate and do things differently. And my whole thing is, my team is built on a mosaic of different ethnicities and minorities: Salvadorian, Mexican, Middle Eastern, Asian. We are Sacramento minorities empowering everyone, giving back to the city, and trying to lead by example. And we have a beautiful partnership built up with Old Soul Coffee. I met with the CEO of Old Soul, and he was one of the first people to believe in Onic Coffee and in the vision. And, we signed like an exclusivity contract where they serve us exclusively for mobile and drive-through. Their coffee is very high quality, and we're partnering up with them on a campaign as well for, the fight against human sex trafficking, where $2 from every single bag that they sell is going to go to my sister's house. But that's kind of the start of Onic Coffee, how the vision started, a little bit of background on myself on Onic. I wanted to open it up to you guys for questions, comments, and kind of answer anything that you guys had to ask.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. So my name is Josh Groover. This is my second semester at Sac State. I've previously been going to college since 2010. I just started a youth nonprofit track club in the city of Rancho Cordova, hence right up here, marketing it always. But the city is on our back. The mayor's on our board. I am also a third generation immigrant from Iran. Grandfather graduated from Sac State in 1968, I think. So grandfather's Iranian, but yeah, my mom also graduated from Sac State. But I think it's great to hear what you're doing. Super cool that you're down in Elk Grove. I'd like to possibly get some contact information from you and see if we can partner as well. I'm going to be hosting some races all across pretty much Rancho Cordova. And so I have about 15 in my head. The city is doing some massive, marketing on their end. I'm building 2 cross-country courses. So, if you guys got a truck, I'd like, have your vending come out and do some stuff. So I think that'd be super sick.
Absolutely, brother. I would love to partner up with you, man. That would be a great opportunity. I really appreciate that. In terms of contact information, you could definitely, I could take your contact, and you could definitely reach out to us either on Instagram at Onic Coffee, or you can email us info@oniccoffee.com. Those are 2 great ways. Also, our business number, 916-616-0106.
All right. Yeah. Also, too, what you're saying about refugees, if you ever want to help out Cordova High School, all the elementary schools and middle schools, we're like the hub of a lot of refugees in the greater Sacramento area. City of Rancho Cordova has massive support system for those refugees, like literally down the street from my house. So, in terms of getting them clothes, getting them any type of hygiene stuff, like they need it big time. So, keep pushing, man. That's super awesome.
Appreciate you. And we'll definitely work together on something, man, for the refugees. 100%.
For sure.
Bro. Thank you, man.
Shadi, there's a question in the chat.
Yeah.
It says, can you kindly share how do you train your sales staff, please?
Here, how do I train my sales staff? So in terms of sales, one of the main things that I talk to them about is approach, right? Authentic approach, greeting the customer like a family member. When we meet a customer, we don't treat them just like, welcome to On It, sir. What can I get you? You know what I mean? Your basic kind of, we really try to go above and beyond. How's your day going? Kind of get to know them a little bit. Really explain the menu thoroughly. Do you have any questions about the menu? Is there anything you'd like us to explain? Breaking down everything. If they don't like their drink, we'll tell them like, we'll remake it for you. How do you like your drink? How do you like your experience? We usually tell them like, welcome to the On It family. Welcome to the team. Thank you for supporting local. And we explain to them the mission and our values with On It Coffee. One of the things that I wanted to touch up on too, when we started On It, I remember when COVID broke out and everything, and we started to park at Precision. It didn't take off right away. For the first, I would say, 2 months, we were making $50 a day at one point. I was covering a ton of money out of pocket in payroll, to the point where, to be quite honest with you, I was near my breaking point with the truck, right? And I had to make a very, very tough decision. Do I shut down the truck and wait out COVID-19 for the drive-through after I invested all that money in marketing and everything, right? And let go, I'd have to let go of the people that I hired, right? Or do I continue to push forward and find a way to make things happen? And that's when we partnered up with Yelp Sacramento, and we started to launch our services on DoorDash, and we created the outdoor seating area. We reshot all of our drinks with a very great a local photographer here. Her name is Melina Cesarini. She's a part of our team now. And we really started to, market ourselves at a high level and run ads on Instagram and reach the community, right? And we even went with the traditional approach of printing out flyers and going home to home. Imagine, we did that. We went business to business, walked into local businesses around us with flyers. Can we take your order? You know what I mean? We had these things, we call them Flex. From Clover, it's a POS system where you can like place an order on a little device without having to be on the truck, And we're like, we'll deliver the drinks right to your business. So we'd go like in cars and deliver them to people's houses or businesses just to try to survive at the time, to get our name out there. The team was willing to do whatever it took to survive and to get our name out there and to overcome the challenge. And it ended up paying off, within a couple of months. Like I said, now our sales are over, sometimes $2,000 a day with the truck. And, we're up to 16 employees. I have an outreach coordinator now. His name is Anthony Cesarini. He reaches out to local businesses. He reaches out to different companies, and, he handles all of our outreach. And I have a media director now. He does all of our newsletters, and we also have a text club. And, you know what I mean? We've branched out a lot now. But in terms of sales, my main thing with sales is just having an authentic approach, treating the customer like a family member, and really explaining the menu thoroughly and making them feel welcomed, making them feel welcomed. So that would be my answer to that.
So I have one question for you, Shadi. I know you said this in one of our meetings that you motivate your employees and do several things for minorities. Would you explain how you motivate your employees and your minority population at your locations?
Yeah. So one of the main things with On It is, one, I believe in hiring a diverse team, right? One of the biggest issues that I noticed with a lot of coffee shops in Sacramento, through a meeting I had. So I was on a call with all of the big companies here in Sacramento: Temple, Old Soul, Savvy, all these other guys, right? And their CEOs mentioned to me, they were like, Shadi, we noticed in the coffee industry in Sacramento, we hire predominantly white, and it is an issue that we want to address. And this was during the Black Lives Matter situation that was going on. And I told them, guys, to be honest with you, hiring is a choice. It's not so much of an issue. I hire diverse right off the top. You know what I mean? I have Salvadorian, Mexican, Black, Asian, Middle Eastern, and I believe a strong team is built on a mosaic of different ethnicities. That is how you mix different cultures together and come up with unique ideas and innovative ideas, right? With my team, the first thing we talk about is, guys, why are we here, right? Why are we working? Why are we working on this truck, right? What is our goal? And I talk to them about the vision every single day. We want to manifest and build the next major coffee franchise in the greater Sacramento area to impact lives, to open up franchising opportunities for people on the team that prove themselves, right? That work their way up to management. And we want to serve the city of Sacramento and support different local nonprofits. That is the vision, right? In terms of minorities, our team is very diverse. So people feel welcome. They're like, man, I've never been a part of a company that's so welcoming and diverse and accepts different ideas. And the way I run my company, I listen to my team's input, right? It's not like a dictatorship. I don't just give orders. Hey guys, do that, do that, do that. I sit down with my team and hey guys, tell me, like, what are some issues that you've noticed? What are things we can improve on? You know what I mean? What are some ideas you have for me? Or what are things you feel I can improve on as a leader?
Wow.
That is what I believe. That is what I believe a true leader does. Doesn't just give orders and commands, but listens to their team's input and, listens to their advice. And sometimes, listen, I don't always take my team's advice, but at the very least, I'm going to hear them out. And my goal is to motivate them. And if there is an issue that their managers do not address, I tell them to come to me. Right? If your manager does not address it, come to me. And I don't play favorites. I don't like favoritism. I treat people equally and fairly. And that is why I believe this team is highly motivated, highly driven, because they've seen how much we have accomplished in a relatively short period of time, 6-7 months during a pandemic. When a lot of businesses are closing, it is a huge blessing for us to thrive and expand and grow, right? We just had an article drop the other day on Elk Grove Citizen, talking about the challenges of the pandemic and how we're overcoming. And that's kind of how I talk to the team. I always tell them, what is our vision? What are we working towards? Because if you're here just to make minimum wage, 9 to 5, whatever it is, you're thinking small. I think big. Tell them, guys, you can get on a salary here one day. Your hourly rate can increase significantly. We're building divisions with Anna. We have divisions. We have our social media team. We have our outreach team. We have our Energy division for the energy drink line. We're looking to get into skincare and cosmetics through using our natural grinds, right? And instead of like throwing them away, turning that into a natural remedy where you can use the grinds, on your skin as a natural thing to, skincare product, right? So we have a lot of creative ideas and a lot of creative things we want to do, but I think the team here really enjoys the fact that their opinion matters. They're heard by their fellow, coworkers, by their management, and we really try to address all issues. And I allow people here to lead. There is a book I read that I would highly advise you guys to read called The 5 Levels of Leadership, right? And this book talks about, what makes a true leader, right? In my opinion, a true leader empowers other people to develop their skills to become leaders, right? And then they build other leaders within their organization. I believe a great company is a company built on a ton of leaders. So I want to empower others and develop them into leaders so they can lead within our organization. That is kind of my vision, the way I look at it. I'm looking to see who can I build up into a leader within Onnit. And I don't want to build one leader. I want a group of leaders. That's how you build a powerful team. And I truly believe within the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to have 4 or 5 locations in the greater Sacramento area. And then from there, the sky's the limit. I do not put limits on myself. I do not believe you should ever put limits on how much you can, how far you can go in life. Don't put limits on yourself. It's all your mindset. You know what I mean? It's all your mindset. If your mindset is limitless and you feel like you can accomplish whatever you want in life, as long as you put in the work, it will happen. And I'm also a very patient man. On it didn't happen overnight. It's taken me 4 years to get here. And I went through a lot of struggles, COVID-19 and the truck. And, you know, I'm still working on attaining the building permit from the county of Sacramento, which God willing is going to happen very soon for that drive-through and our dine-in location. But everything takes time. And with our generation, unfortunately, people want things right away. Right away. People don't want to wait, you know, but you have to have patience. You have to have patience. You have to overcome struggles and adapt.
Hey,
Okay.
Shadi, we have
Yes.
some other questions, and I want to see if maybe we can get them all answered. Do you mind?
Do it. Let's do it.
It's been so informative, but here we go. All right, so here's one. Can you share your vast experience? I want to know about this too. Doing social media marketing like Facebook and Instagram, which gives you a better response.
Yeah. So one of the things I noticed with On It Coffee, Instagram helped us tremendously, right? Through boosting posts. You have to pick the right keywords. You pick the demographic that you're targeting. So 18 to 40, like with On It, I noticed our biggest demographic, I would say, is like the 20 to 40 range, right? Analytics show that 80% of the people that view our posts are women, 20% are men. And I target different keywords: vegan-based options, oat milk, almond milk, energy drinks, lemonades, coffee, cold brew. And I run these ads, right? $10 a day for 7 days, you know, on certain ads. Other ads that are more impactful, I'll put more money into them. I run ads on Yelp. I do landing pages on Google. We do Facebook ads. Also, of course, if you're ever able to get coverage from like Good Day Sacramento, you know, that typically is free, right? If they reach out to you to help you, because they support local, especially during this tough time. Send them an email, shoot them an email, be like, hey guys, you know, I'm a local business or I'm a small business here. I need help. Is there any way you can support me? Give me some coverage, you know? That gives you a lot of traction with the local community that tunes in with Good Day. You know, we've been on Good Day 4 times in 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, in terms of Instagram and all that, one of the main things that I will tell you is communicate with the community. So like on Instagram, even on its page, like there are videos where I talk to people. Like I'll go out on the video and talk to the community. Today, we are doing a campaign for, you know, let's say the fight against human sex trafficking. And I actually had my entire team shoot that video with me. Each one said like a statistic about sex trafficking in Sacramento or you know, some kind of information on my sister's house. It was a very impactful video. People can sense when you are authentic or when you are not authentic, you know, and I feel like a lot of CEOs or whatever shy away from the camera and kind of hide behind the scenes. I like to, you know, kind of communicate with people and be available. You know what I mean? Like people reach out to me, I respond to them. I've had nonprofits email me. I don't just brush them off. I respond to them. Even if we can't work together right away, respond to people that reach out to you. You do not know the opportunity that you might be missing out on. And I know a lot of us maybe aren't comfortable, you know, public speaking or talking to others. And I didn't used to be honest with you. I was very shy growing up, believe it or not. I'm more of an introvert. But I had to learn to push myself, right, out of my comfort zone. That's something that you need to learn to do. If you are a shy individual, if you're reserved and you want to start a company, you know what I mean? You want to gain that traction or that following on social media, you need to learn to talk on camera. It's a skill set that, to be honest with you, took me 3-4 years to build. I used to, you know, you'd put a camera on me, I'd freeze up. Couldn't talk on camera, you know? Took me a couple years, a lot of trial and error, right? A lot of trial and error. But that's kind of some of my advice in terms of social media. Post high quality images, you know what I mean? Post high quality images, be authentic, and definitely boost your posts that you feel have higher engagement. And look at your engagement. I look at the post. How many shares did it get? How many people saved it? How many comments did it get? How many likes did it get? You can view all the analytics on the back end. So that's very big. Some of our posts have gotten 400 or 500 shares on Instagram.
Wow,
so imagine
awesome.
you got a post that got 400 or 500 shares. Each person shared that. Well, how many views did that post get from that person's account? you might have reached 100,000 people off that one post if it gets shared enough times. So
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Shadi. Here's another. This is from Chris. Congrats on your success. I have a question. Were you intimidated by the major coffee franchises like Starbucks or Dutch Brothers when you were starting on it? I am not from the Sacramento area. I live near the Modesto area. I will definitely be stopping by your business for some coffee on my way to Sac State once campus reopens. Here, here, Chris. We all feel that way.
That's love. That's love. Thank you so much.
Won't you speak to the intimidation factor if there was any?
So in terms of intimidation, to be honest with you, I was not intimidated at all. I believe that what we are doing is very, very different from Starbucks and Dutch Brothers. Number one, we're local, right? They're not local. They're not founded in Sacramento. I don't know that they support a lot of local nonprofits here in Sacramento. And we also offer a lot of options that they don't. You know, we have protein shakes, right? And vegan-based protein shakes. Our matcha is liquid-based from Australia. Our coffee is sourced locally in Sacramento from Old Soul, gourmet quality coffee. Our lemonade is hand-squeezed. We offer energy drinks, a lot of sugar-free options. We're adding boba to the menu, right? We have our vegan-based soy rizo burrito options and our oatmeal options, a lot of stuff, right? So I really feel that we're very different. And I also believe that I really don't focus on other companies, to be honest with you. Like when I focus on my business, I'm focused on how can I grow on it. I'm not looking to compete with Dutch Brothers or Starbucks or anybody. I'm focused on how can I grow Onic Coffee at the highest level? How can I impact as many lives as possible? And one thing I will tell you is that 80% of my staff is actually from Dutch Brothers, and a lot of them left. A lot of the top managers there and shift leads left because they were underpaid and undervalued, right? And another thing I'm going to tell you is that when we dropped our matcha green tea, it caused such a disturbance in Elk Grove that Dutch Brothers came out with a powder-based matcha about a month later. And when we dropped our soy rizo burrito and our food items, our hot food items, literally 1 week later, for the first time in 6-7 years, Dutch Bros dropped their hot food items here at Sheldon, less than a mile away. And I know people from the inside of Dutch Brothers, you know, that kind of tell me what's going on. And they tell me, Shadi, they see you as a huge threat with Onic Coffee, and they're trying their best to kind of replicate what you're doing in many aspects, which is fine. You can copy whatever, but at the end of the day, our heart is different. You know what I mean? We're local. We serve this city. And I really don't focus on competitors or any of that. I focus on it. How can I grow on it? How can I serve the city? So in terms of
That's brilliant, Shadi. Clearly, you're not focused on them, but they are focused on you. Here's another question from Cullen. If you had one piece of advice to someone just starting out, what would it be? Thank you! Exclamation point.
So one piece of advice is, depending on the industry you're going into, if you don't have a lot of knowledge in that industry, find an expert or a mentor that can teach you before you dive right in. I did not have too much knowledge on the coffee industry. I didn't just dive in and go, okay, I'm going to start a coffee business on my own. And no, I went and hired a consulting company, another franchise actually out of the East Coast that had a couple hundred locations, met with their CEO, told her my vision. She explained to me the process, and we spent months of planning and research before I went in. I hired people in the industry that had 4 or 5 years of experience, right, to help me build Onic Coffee, to help me structure the business. I didn't just dive in and go, oh, I know everything. I did some research on Google. I know how to run this business, right? No, I found experts in the industry to teach me, and I was willing to learn like a student, like a student. When you start a business, don't have an ego. Don't have that arrogance of like, I know everything. I'm just gonna, no, like go into the business with a humble approach. I'm very big on humility, and listen to others, do a lot of research, take advice, find the right mentors and the right experts. That would be my number one key advice for starting a business.
That's excellent advice. And I would just suggest to anyone that has an idea for a business, you want to circle back to the Carlson Center. I will put the website and also the virtual office hours that we have so that you can flesh out, depending on where you are in your journey, we could connect you with some people that can give you some advice. So just a little commercial for our center. Thank you, Shadi. Okay, let's see what else we have here from James. Do you see your business at some point expanding to the Bay Area? Dutch Brothers does not have a presence here yet, so drive-through coffee is mostly limited to Starbucks.
Absolutely. So one of the main things that we've discussed actually with the team is branching out into the Bay Area and branching out to Southern California, right? San Diego, LA. If the opportunity presents itself as we're expanding, we find a prime lot in the Bay Area, we might just jump ship right there and take a huge portion of the market share before they tap into that market, because I do know that they have plans to expand into the Bay Area. But it's difficult because with Dutch Brothers, the way things work is it's owned by the headquarters. And if a franchisee owner, right, wants to branch out into a new territory, they have to purchase that territory. And purchasing a new territory is extremely expensive, right? That's why they kind of stay within the limited areas that they're approved for. So for me, I do have plans to branch out into the Bay Area in the near future.
Excellent.
So attached to that question, I heard you saying once in our meeting, you were trying to also expand in the Middle East.
What was that?
You were trying to expand in the Middle East as well.
Yes. So one of the things that I'm actually working on, and my goal is to have this up within about a year or so, I want to open up the first coffee drive-through in the country of Morocco, right? Morocco does not have any coffee drive-throughs. Morocco is actually where French Montana is from, for those of you that are familiar with different rappers. But the way it works in the Middle East is it's very competitive, right? So if Saudi Arabia or Qatar or UAE, right, the richer Middle Eastern countries that have oil, the sheiks out there, if they see that you brought a business from the United States and built it in a competing country in the Middle East, they have to have it, right? And so they actually at times may offer to build the infrastructure for you just to have you bring the business to their country, right? And building a coffee kiosk in Morocco is much cheaper than the United States. Also, payroll is a lot cheaper. So I do have a goal to open up the first coffee drive-through in the country of Morocco, and then from there, I anticipate some of the connections that I have out in, UAE, Qatar, Saudi, reaching out and being like, we want an On It coffee drive-through in our country as well. And then from there, we would, look into really branching out and taking over the Middle Eastern market with this kind of with this business model. Also for Energy, our energy drink line, I'm working on a halal kosher version. As Muslims and Jews, a lot of them only consume halal or kosher beverages or food. And so we're looking to kind of modify the ingredients to turn them into, kosher, halal approved, so we can sell those in the Middle Eastern market. Being that I speak Arabic fluently and I know the culture very well, I have a big advantage coming from the United States and taking On It back home. And my goal, honestly, with the whole expansion into the Middle East is I want to hire predominantly refugees in the Middle East that are struggling and give them a job so that they can survive, right? A US dollar here goes a long way back home. Believe me when I tell you that. And there are tons of Yemeni refugees, Somalian refugees, Syrian refugees, Afghan refugees that need help back home. And a lot of them live in, throughout the entire Middle East. They've been forced to leave their homes and live in other countries. And so if I'm able to open up these kiosks back home that will be hiring 50 people, 60 people, I would love to hire refugees in need and help them get on their feet and maybe even open up franchising opportunities for them one day back home. That's definitely a big goal and a big vision and something that I want to get into within the next year or so.
You are aspirational. I love it, Shadi. All right, let's see here. Here's another question. You sell different drinks on your menu. As your company name, coffee has coffee in it, I expect. Is coffee your best seller, or are your other drinks topping the charts?
So definitely coffee is our number one seller, but I will say matcha probably comes as a close second, or matcha green tea. with oat milk, probably one of the most popular drinks we have on our menu. Our green tea lemonade is another big one. So it's a combination of tea and lemonade, and you can make it different flavors. Our energy drinks are very popular as well. Our cold brew is a big seller. We have just such a wide range of options. We have our Oreo shake is a big one. And we're always coming out with new, unique drinks. I believe when we drop our boba menu, our brand new boba drink menu, it's going to cause a lot of mayhem, to say the least, because
In a good way.
in a good way, no one's going to be expecting it. And a lot of people have been asking us, like, hey, do you have Vietnamese tea? Do you have boba? And we're like, guys, like, it's coming around the corner. We've been working on it for about 2 months. And we're going to be dropping it relatively soon. So I think that's going to be a big menu item. And now we've transitioned into more of the hot drinks, right? We have red velvet and peppermint mocha and cheesecake and all these unique flavors that are seasonal for the winter season. So we also have our Mexican hot chocolate is a big one. Our matcha hot chocolate is a very big one. So definitely come down to Anna and try some drinks. And I'll greet you like family. And if you ever want to talk in person or get any advice or just, meet, I would love to welcome you all, to on it.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. I have a question for you, Shadi. Have you encountered the challenge of an employee that doesn't quite fit? And how do you handle that?
I definitely have encountered that. I would tell you, since the start of On It, we've had about 8 employees that have quit. And that's since, when we started On It about 7 months ago, right? So throughout the 7 months, we've had 8 different people that have quit. One of the biggest things that I noticed was individuals that cannot handle constructive criticism. So with me, I will never put an employee down. I'll never approach them in a way where it's like, you're doing this wrong. You need to, that's not my approach.
Right.
I'm going to sit down with you as a human being. Just be like, brother, or, my sister, I want to talk to you about this situation. I feel like you can improve in this aspect, or, you made a mistake here. We need to work on this. I've had employees that could not handle that just because of either maturity level or ego is a big thing. That's why I'm telling you guys, another book you should read, Ego is the Enemy. Ego is a big thing. Believe me, it leads to the fall of a lot of people. And I really try to lead with humility. And I even tell my employees, you don't have to worry about don't call me your boss or any of that. I really don't care about any of that, CEO, boss, any of that. Consider me your brother. But also, please, when we talk and there's an issue, I need you to address it. And we try to have that respectful, mutual relationship. But yeah, I've had employees that either had scheduling issues, they couldn't commit to the schedule, or they wanted the perfect schedule, right, that revolved around them. And we could not do that simply because we have 15 other people that we have to work around their schedules as well. Issues with kind of attitude, stuff like that, which you're gonna run into. You know what I mean? You're gonna run into. That's business. Business is not I tell my people all the time, business is not a fairy tale. It's not just an upward trajectory and everything's perfect. There are ups and downs. There is stress. There are issues you're going to run into. I try to turn On It into a positive, safe, beautiful environment, but there are issues that are going to come up, and you have to be a mature individual that can handle that. And you need to be able to communicate. If you're feeling a certain way and you don't communicate that to your peers, to your management, we're not going to know how to address it, So those are kind of some of the issues that I've ran into. And sometimes, not everyone is a great fit for a certain company, but at the end of the day, I tell everyone that as long as you learned something, you took something from your time On It, from your experience here, that's all that matters to me. And I try to end things on good terms with every person that leaves or, has other opportunities or whatever, because you never want to burn bridges. Like, that's one thing, guys, you can understand. Don't burn a bridge, because you never know in life when you might go back to that person, or you might need that person, or that person might pop back into your life, so.
That's good. Very good. Thank you for that. We had one other question, Dr. Avi.
Yeah. Have you put any thoughts into dealing with packaging waste and other ecological issues?
Packaging wait, what was that?
Packaging waste and other ecological issues.
have we put thought? So when you mean like, are you talking like environmentally friendly, like that kind of
Yes.
approach? Trying to
Yes,
be.
Benjamin, you
So
can.
one of the things we're trying to do, right? So I know you guys know straws are a big thing now in California. They're trying their best to kind of reduce that, right? Because there's a lot of waste with straws. So we shifted our cups to the sippy cups, right? And so with the sippy cups, if a customer requests a straw, we'll give them one. But outside of that, we'll try our best to just give them the sippy to kind of save straws and, you know, try our best to save the environment. As we branch to the drive-throughs, I do want to look into more environmentally friendly recyclable cups and, you know what I mean, and kind of getting to more of that ecological aspect that you're talking about. But that's something definitely we need to get into a little bit more.
Okay, very good. Look
Thank
at that. That was magical. Very close to time. Go ahead.
So any other questions? This is your last minute to ask any questions, concerns, things that you want to know from Shadi. Anybody? All right. I think everybody is good. So on behalf of Carlson Center and HHS, thank you so much, Shadi, for spending time with us today. You're really inspiring and motivational. I really loved having you, and I look forward to being go to On It sometime very soon and taste boba or so many different varieties of it. But thank you so much for coming down here today, spending time with our students. We'll share all your information with them, and we wish you all the very best for all your future endeavors.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Honestly, it really means a lot to me to partner up with Sac State and to try to motivate, you know, my fellow students and alumni at the campus. I welcome you all like family members. For all students and staff at Sac State, if you show your student or staff ID card, we'll definitely give you a 10% off discount on it. We also have our stamp cards where every, I believe, 10th drink is free after your ninth stamp. And we're located at 9250 Bighorn Boulevard. Follow us on Instagram at On It Coffee. Reach out to me. My Instagram is at It's Shadi. If you have any questions or if you need any help or if you'd like to partner up on any nonprofit campaigns, thank you again for the opportunity. It really means a lot. And I really appreciate the opportunity. And it was a beautiful talk. Thank you so much.
It was a beautiful talk. You've got a lot more fans, so be aware. You got to get more customers, Shadi. Continued success. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you liked it, and I hope you go to other Global Entrepreneurship Week sessions. And until we meet again, stay safe and stingers up.
Stingers up, guys.
Everyone. Very good. Thank you. Ciao, ciao.
I love.
Bye-bye. Thank you.